Hello everyone, Catherine Morritt here from the Regional Learning Specialist team. In this session we will work on the concept of classification and how to build a dichotomous key and tree diagram. This skill is explicitly stated in your course outline in week 7 to prepare for test 1. We are visiting the house in Sweden where Carl Linnaeus lived and worked during the 1700s. Carl Linnaeus developed the binomial classification scheme that we use today. Linnaeus is pictured here as a young man in 1737. He is wearing traditional dress of the Sami people who live in the Lapland region of northern Sweden. He is also holding a flower that became his personal emblem. The common name for the flower is twin flower, and you can probably see why. Its scientific name is Linnea borealis. You could work out what this name tells us about the plant. It is interesting to note that for a man that gave us the way we name specific organisms, his name was changed often. He was born Carl Linnaeus, but used a Latin name of Carolus Linnaeus for his books. Later he was made a noble and is known today in Sweden by his name Carl von Linné. I would also like to introduce my dog Charlie. He is a Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever, or toller for short. The other day we met up at the beach with a few others of his breed. Can you recognise him? There is also an imposter dog who is a wannabe toller. Can you find this imposter in this image? Here is a better image of the two dogs in question. Immediately you can identify some structural similarities such as hair colour. I have called the colour amber coloured hair. You will also identify some features or variables that are different between them. We can use a feature to explain how to divide the pair into two different groups. I have based this division on the feature of nose colour. The division comes from the differences in nose colour, in this case one black and one amber. Before we play with classification, let's look at how your syllabus is arranged. We will analyse this infographic. You will notice two green concentric rings around the central word science. The inner green ring shows how your course or syllabus is divided or classified into 3 sections. Find science as human endeavour, science inquiry skills, and science understandings. Your teachers have programmed all of these sections on your course outline. The exams will test your science understandings and science inquiry skills. The human endeavour objectives may be used as contexts for exam questions, so you should learn these as well. What does the outer ring represent? These 6 statements are sometimes called the big ideas of science. These big ideas are common to all science disciplines. So in our tutorials, think about how these big ideas help you understand biology so that you can think as scientists think. In this session, we will start with the big idea of scale and measurement and see how it applies to biology and human biology. Then we will enter the realm of patterns, order and organisation to practice the principles of classification and build a tree diagram and a dichotomous key using structural features. For example, the numbat or Myocobius fasciatus is the mammal emblem of Western Australia. Mammalia is a class of animal within the phylum Chordata. It is the structural features of the numbat that place it in this class. What is the structural feature that divides or separates or classifies the mammals in this image? Notice the 2 headings. Let's go back to the big idea of scale and measurement. Biology is the study of life in all its forms, from organic molecules to cell organelles, cells, tissues, organs, systems, organisms, species, populations, communities, ecosystems, and the biosphere. Check out the YouTube video on the map of biology, which is in your tutorial folder. In this video, the presenter shows how the subject of biology and all of the subdisciplines are related to each other, including microbiology, genetics, bioengineering, anatomy, physiology, medicine, neuroscience, ecology, and zoology, to name but a few. Which scale of the universe do biologists and human biologists work within? Biology spans the scales from biophysics and biochemistry, studying the basic elements of life, to the study of whole ecosystems and the environment. This infographic provides a lot of information in one image, so let's use our analytical skills to analyse what this infographic shows. Firstly, check out the scale and the units to the left of the infographic. If we think about objects that exist at the scale of about 1 metre, then we start at where early biologists started, before the invention of lenses and the microscope. You can think of various phenomena that are observable at this level, for example, organs, systems, and organisms. In the study of biology, we classify at different levels of organisation, from molecules to cells to tissues, organs, systems, organisms, species, populations, and ecosystems. You will cover all of these levels of classification in this course. For example, you know that chromosomes hold DNA molecules, and genes can be classified by the sequence of their nucleotides within these DNA molecules. Species can be classified on different levels of similarity of physical features and methods of reproduction. The Tasmanian tiger, or thylacine, shows a closer evolutionary relationship to a numbat than to a dingo. Could you explain why? It actually has very little to do with the stripes. Think back to this image and the methods of reproduction of both the numbat and the thylacine. Ecosystems can generally be classified into two classes, such as natural and artificial. Artificial ecosystems are natural regions affected by human manipulation. They are artificial lakes, reservoirs, townships, and cities. Natural ecosystems are classified into two major types. They are aquatic ecosystems and terrestrial ecosystems. This picture was taken on the oval near where I work in Perth. Decide if it is a natural or an artificial ecosystem and explain your response. Designing a dichotomous key. I thought we should go through this, as your course program states in week 6 that you are to read through and learn the study notes, for example, how to make a tree diagram and a dichotomous key using structural features. Classification keys are used to identify and describe different organisms. A dichotomous key is designed so that there are two alternatives at each step or level. Complex keys such as this can often take up several pages and are written in formal text. Simple dichotomous keys can be drawn like a flowchart. At each level, two alternatives which are based on observable structures and are often measurable are listed. A key can only be used for the organisms used to build its structure. For example, you could not identify my dog Charlie by using this key. In the Tutorial 1 folder, you will also find this activity sheet on dichotomous keys. It is from your Nelson text. Have a go at this activity. In the same folder, you will also find a document called Create Your Own Dichotomous Key. Work your way through this document and we will discuss your work in the next tutorial. This tutorial should be a face-to-face WebEx, so bring your answers to this WebEx tutorial. If you practice building your own dichotomous keys, you will have learned an important biological skill, and you will start to appreciate the big idea of patterns, order, and organisation. Thank you for your participation today, and I hope that next time we meet, you will be able to go through these skills and ask some more questions. Goodbye.